the way my brain visualizes it is that like my voice is somewhat of a playground.
Oh, interesting.
So like all these different parts of a playground, whether how high or big or wide. And then sometimes you rock up to the playground and there's a lot of pieces missing and like I can't, oh shit,
like
I
the
actually
slide's
can't
not
get
there?
up to the top slide because there's no ladder at the moment.
I love that visualization.
So yeah, today I felt like I had a pretty big playground.
Hello, my name is Nick DeGregorio and welcome to the Tiny Vinyl Sessions. Every Tiny Vinyl session is a collaboration between me and a visiting artist. We record 3 live tracks in a local business and then have a conversation about our lives in music and compare notes about the struggles and ups and downs of being an artist in the most recent age. It's kind of like a snapshot of this person in this time. Today I was really lucky to hang out with Erin Roos. She's a friend of mine and a fantastic vocalist, and we got to play one of her original tunes and a few covers, and we got into a really interesting conversation about her life in music and her experiences and how that led her up to me meeting her up in Ellie Beach. A really big thank you again to Lola's Bar for having us for I think this is our 3rd one there. They are very supportive of the arts, and if you get a chance, go sing some karaoke at their bar. Welcome.
Hello.
You made it.
We made it,
Finally.
finally.
We've had like 3 postponements.
Yep.
I think it's been pretty intense.
And it's almost baby time, so I was like, I need to go and get this done.
I was like, it's got to happen in the next 2 weeks or
That's
something.
it.
Yeah. How did you feel about the whole process? Thank you so much for coming on, by the way. And I appreciate you taking the time.
I love that you're doing this, and I couldn't be more excited to be part of it, honestly.
Oh, you're very kind.
The whole process has been really good. And especially, I was prepared to show up and just bring it in and we jam or whatever, but I love that we've done practices to try and plan stuff out, and so that when we rocked up, you know, all the brain cells can just go towards doing it. So.
To me, it frees you up to give a better performance and, you know, leaves you not stressing as well. That's the goal.
That's it.
There's always,
I've also found like with because I know I haven't been super energetic and super, you know, onto it every time I've come for a practice, but every time I leave, I feel good. It's almost like you never want to go for a workout, but once you do the workout at the end, you're like, I'm glad I did that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like with doing 5, 6 or 7 gigs a week, this has kind of been the only thing that I've been doing that's different from
normal
work, and it's just something for me. One for me, one for you, one for me, one for you.
That's it. It's been pretty challenging, right? Because you've been on the islands pretty consistently.
Yeah, I love the islands, and it's great work.
Yeah, it's really good, but I'm dying.
I hadn't done this before where I've worked so many weeks on the islands consecutively.
Yeah.
So I thought I didn't really think about land admin, and you know, when you have 2 days off a week, you kind of spend one day trying to do your chores and get everything ready. And then you kind of need another day to dissociate, stare at the ceiling and recharge and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But when I'm spending half a day traveling back here, and then I've got to go shopping, it's just a lot.
Yeah.
I've found that it hasn't been enough time for me, especially when, you know, when the mental health isn't where, you know, and not at its strongest. It's like usually you can tackle a lot of things, but that space of endurance gets a little bit shorter, smaller.
The resilience bar goes
resilience
down.
bar,
It's just
yes.
like you can take a lot of punishment and then I don't really know what happens at the end of it. I'm luckily
haven't found it yet.
I've had probably similar to where you're at the moment, where you're just kind of running on fumes, I think. But,
that's it. But that's why I'm so glad that we have this job, because it's, you know, if I wasn't passionate about my full-time job, when my resilience bar gets so small, what do I have to hold on to? You know, that's why I'm glad that I love music and I love my job and I'm passionate about it, because really it's still, the core of it is still, you still get to go and express yourself and play music and stuff. And that's actually sometimes the problem, isn't it? I don't want to go and be perceived and go and express to, you know, every day, but I've done this to myself and I can't complain too much.
It's the golden handcuffs of glory. No, I don't know. golden handcuffs is a slightly different thing, but it's like you're in a job that everyone thinks is really enjoyable, and it is really enjoyable when it's doing well. But when you are running out of energy with that, and then it becomes not enjoyable,
Oh,
which
it
is
just,
ironic.
It just becomes work.
It becomes work.
It's just work, you
Yeah.
know. Sometimes it's play and fun, and then sometimes it's just work, and that's okay.
Do you find that you have a certain energy level where it becomes fun again? I notice that if I'm gigging too many times, the funness is sapped. But sometimes if I'm really rested and I've been doing a lot of gigs, the opposite happens. Sometimes I just have like a great gig because I'm actually really practiced up.
4 days in a row, I'm a bit like maybe 3. That's like my sweet spot. And then if I could have a day off after 3 days, I'd probably could jump into another 3 days.
Yeah.
But I'm finding that I've forgotten the question.
Just the energy of like.
But I do enjoy, like, if I have 4 days off, I'm like itching to get back. I want to get back.
That's interesting. 4 days off. Yeah. Because you have the opposite effect. I haven't had that properly since like kind of COVID, and then I had a few like 1 or 2 breaks where I had probably a month or 2. It takes about 6 weeks for me to reset, where my brain fully goes back to I'm really excited and kind of nervous to get back to like our normal gigging kind of life.
Honestly, yeah, like I don't actually even know how I'm gonna go with this, because the reality is that I'm burnt out.
Yeah.
And I can't really just take 2 days off and then switch back into it, you know, because that's the 2 days off that I get. I'm feeling like it's not enough, is it? So
Yeah.
I kind of need a bit more time. But now I'm gonna dive back into another month and a half of island work, and then I'm gonna take a month off, and I'm hoping that I can get some energy back naturally. But I have a feeling that I might need like hectic rest.
Yeah.
To get back to it and get excited for it again.
But it's about creating the marathonness of when you're going into a big stint.
Yeah.
A 6-ish week stint is enough to. It can be dangerous, that amount of time, because you can actually push through and get to the end of it, but by the end of it you'll die. But the opposite of if you have longer, you know that that's not sustainable. So like when I've done ship contracts and gone for 6 months, and you're doing 6 days a week, 1 day off, and that's for 6 months, that's more like you can't maintain that 6 week bracket even if you tried.
Yeah.
So you need to like learn whatever coping mechanisms you can inside of that big stint.
What are your coping mechanisms?
I don't know. I'm just a big fucking nerd and will happily not drink and go to bed early and just not have as much, fun. But for me, that doesn't mean that I'm not having fun. It just means that like you can't drink as much. And
definitely looking after your voice by not, And even the other night, like I went out, knew this was happening, and I was like, I'm going to be all right. I'll go out with the mates, I just had a few beers. I didn't get wasted. Drank heaps of water as well. But it was talking so loud for a few hours over the music, over people.
That's it.
Like I already knew that, but I guess I underestimated that. But I've been so happy with how my voice has been today. I call it like the way my brain visualizes it is that like my voice is somewhat of a playground.
Oh, interesting.
So like all these different parts of a playground, whether how high or big or wide. And then sometimes you rock up to the playground and there's a lot of pieces missing, and like I can't, oh shit,
like
I actually can't get up to the top slide because there's no ladder at the moment.
I love that visualization.
So yeah, today I felt like I had a pretty big playground to be able to.
So when you're like, I can go high, you imagine tall things in the playground.
Thin playground, yeah.
And then what's like is it relaxed is wide?
I think relaxation is definitely like part of it as well, but I feel as though it just depends on how my muscles are working with or lack thereof with my brain and my body, so.
I've never heard that visualization, and I think it's a great one because it is when you're feeling loose and relaxed, it does feel like play, and you are like running up a slide and running down a slide. And if you're not, it feels like you're sliding down a broken glass.
That's
like
it. Like, oh, do I really want to dive down this?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of how I visualize things, and just today I had a pretty good playground going on. I've had a bit of fun.
Well, you sounded fantastic. So
thank you. Ditto.
I wanted to ask you. So I love kind of, especially with the people in Airlie, because we know each other pretty well and we see each other around the trap. So I don't actually know that much about your background, which is funny because I want to just say like my perception of what people have told me is like, you've been in a well-known band. You've been in like a punk scene-ish. Is that right? I don't know if it's
punk. I guess you call it, yeah.
And then from recent things that you've been doing, that you've been on some like pretty big tours with people. And then I'm confused because I'm not confused. I'm like, oh, that's funny because I know Erin as Erin and I met you here doing this kind of activity. So can you help me bridge those gaps?
Yeah, no, I totally know what you mean because I showed up here in 2020 just having split up with my band. And so me moving up here was sort of like a self-reinvention as well, where I I was playing gigs and I did play guitar, but wasn't as focused on it, obviously.
Yeah.
So my priorities shifted, moved up here and everyone got to know this acoustic little version of Erin. And especially from 6 years ago, I would stand on a stage like feet together, just like closed eyes, like not looking at anyone. There was not much going on. And I've been able to grow my skills through this town. And I do find it funny that like I didn't want to, how do I say this? Like I didn't want to rock up here and talk about what I had experienced and have people, while they're trying to interpret me for the first time, maybe have a thing in the back of their head going, oh, and she brags about da-da-da. And it's like, I've never felt like I'm bragging. I'm just like trying to go, hey, look how cool this thing I just did is, you know?
Well, I've never felt that way. I've always felt like you've kept it under wraps.
I don't talk about it.
Yeah, and that's also like fine because to me, musicians, you know, I think the status game that happens with musicians is kind of a wank. So
totally.
like it doesn't make people a better musician for having, you know, 1 million fans. Doesn't make them a better musician when you put them in a room together. They all have the same different standards and different qualities and everyone plays music. And at the end of the day, it annoys me when people play status games. And I always appreciated that even... Not that you never mentioned it or didn't have to mention it. You just never really brought it up. And I wasn't too sure if it was because you didn't want to bring it up or because it just didn't matter. But I just liked getting to know you as who you were and who you are.
I think I've definitely felt quite anxious for the past couple of years. I think the fear of being perceived and I guess getting older and learning that a lot of people have all these different opinions. And I know I shouldn't care what they think. But my experience has been... enough little bad things that I've gone, okay, maybe I just won't. The less that I share about myself, the less that people have to judge me off. And unfortunately, over these past couple of years, it's actually gone the complete opposite direction. I don't post as much on Instagram as I want to. I don't really post much personal stuff anymore either. And like, this is all got a little bit of trauma from the band, would you believe?
Yeah.
So it's just, they had me convinced of a lot of things that weren't necessarily true about myself. I'm not sure why, but it seems like they kind of wanted to keep my ego down.
Right.
But I think if they had just let me be free, then I would have been able to represent the band a bit more confidently.
Yeah.
I went to a music industry college for year 11 and 12. So freaking good. Shout out, Brett. And that... I met my band there. We formed in grade 12 and the way that we kind of got onto opportunities so quick is that we did an assignment and I think we worked together and it was about hosting an event or something and you had to cover like liaison and this and that and like just running an event, you know, really cool. Great. So we were like, okay, cool. So we're going to hit up this pop punk band that's doing a tour that we would, you know, we look up to them at the time.
You would want to be on the bill. Yeah.
So we were like, can we run your show? They were like, yeah. Cool. And then we put ourselves on it.
Clever.
So that's where it started.
That's the cheeky ways of...
That's how we got into the scene. And then, we were together for 6 years. It was a really good run. And 2018, we opened Good Things Festival. We toured the country with so many fucking cool bands that I really loved. In that same note, Don't Always Meet.
Don't always meet you.
We toured with Simple Plan, and that was massive. That was really huge. I think that was 2019, and I've gone up to Pierre. And I was wondering if they were going to play Jet Lag, which is like one of my favorite songs in the whole world. And I was standing there in soundcheck, and I was like wondering if they're going to play it because it wasn't on any of their set lists overseas. But I think it's because it was so big in Australia that they.
It's one of those ones.
One of those priorities. So they started playing it and I was like, I want to do it. And so I was just like, the worst thing they can say is no. So I've gone up after the first show and I've asked if I can come and sing Jet Lag with them.
Yeah.
Of course, they're not going to just be like, yep, straight up.
Yeah.
And come sound check it with us tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I did. And I remember we've started singing and I started doing the harmonies. And I remember seeing all of them look at each other and be like, like,
It's going to be good.
I don't know, not really. So that was just the start of that. We did that tour and I sang Jet Lag every night. And then they came back for Good Things Festival a couple years later. And I went around Good Things Festival singing in front of like 20, 30,000 people a day as well. They're so cool to just be like, because I was up and coming in a band. And they didn't need to take me on tour last year. Like I did a fucking stadium tour with them. It was so cool. 21,000 people I performed in front of in Sydney and just like,
That's great.
to realize that they were taking me on tour, not because they're trying to pick someone that's already got a big status and stuff. They just like the way that I do that with them. They like that when they play that song with me, they like the way that sounds. And like, that's just sick. Like for such a big band to prioritize, no, the sound over, let's make sure we get up a chick that everyone in Australia knows.
You want people to be just like, oh, this girl that I met is fantastic and let's take her on tour because she smashes the job. It's not, you know, and I think that that's the beautiful thing about the industry, if in its best light, you know. Whenever I'm recording, I start thinking like just like try and engage in the song more. Like
theme of the day.
We're shooting.
It's so good.
Oh,
right,
perfect.
let's do it.
Oh, good. I've lost track, but we're on Sting.
4, I think.
4. Yeah, 4. Cool.
I should've known back then, red flags all over. But you knew me well, played with my heart, cause red's my color. I hope your girl's doing fine, does she know you're a liar? I don't miss that, no, do you think about me when you're with her? Ooh, like always, thanks for nothing. You always do how to make it sting, but I'm better off without you, I can't breathe. Hadn't done this since I found you. Now I can be selfish, I can focus on myself and be with me. You always do how to make it sting. Oh, get it. I could paint you perfect like a picture, you and no give or take. Had my arms wide open at a bright green stop sign covered in heartbreak. And of course I miss you, but it's not that easy, cause I fell for the man you pretended to be. Oh, like always, thanks for nothing. You always do how to make it sting, but I'm better off without you, I can't breathe. Hadn't done this since I found you. Now I can be selfish, I can focus on myself and be with me. You always do how to make it sting. Ooh. Oh yeah. Ooh. Like always, thanks for nothing. You always knew how to make it sing, but I'm better off without you, I can't breathe. Hadn't done this since I found you. Now I can be selfish, I can focus on myself and be with me. Oh, you always do how to make it sting. You always do how to make it sing. Oh, you suck.
This is just a quick interruption to say thank you. Thank you for listening. It means the world to me if you've made it and you're hearing this message, because not many people do get it through here. Most people know us from the snippets and the clips, and if you're hearing my voice, it means that you're deep in the session, and that excites me a lot. If you are liking what I'm doing, I'm trying to grow the scope of this project, so I really want to start having not just one-on-one, but having bands and a bigger setup, basically, and that involves some financial help. So if you feel like contributing and watching this series grow, please go to tinyvinylcollective.com. There is a contribution button that is for one time only, like a one-time payment of however much you want, and then there's like a monthly rolling one if you want that as well. So it's up to you how much you choose to contribute. We also are on Patreon, which is another place you can support us. The other way is via buying the tracks, which is available on Bandcamp and will be directly on the site as well. All those go back into the Tiny Vinyl ecosphere and lets me, able to get another light or something that makes these such a beautiful, high quality thing, which is really hard to do and takes me a lot of time. So anyway, I'm going to take you straight back to Erin now, and let's hear more from her and her experience.
Joined a band in high school. We toured the country for about 6 years doing some really cool shit.
Yeah.
And at the same time as COVID hit, we ended up in some conversations that we weren't aligning with.
Like creatively or?
No, unfortunately, we worked really, really well creatively.
Yeah.
It was awesome. But yeah, it was our moral standpoints were very different. Anyway, but yeah, so it was just like the band shut down at the same time as COVID hit. So I actually find this the most interesting thing, because I built my whole identity over wanting to be a rock star ever since I was a kid. Like since I can remember, I was like blowing out the birthday candles going, I want to be a rock star. Until I became a rock star.
Yeah.
I stopped doing it. But yeah, I feel like I've achieved so much. And I'm not necessarily grieving that experience as much as because I thought that when I leave the band that I'm going to be like, I'm losing a part of myself. And I definitely had to figure out how to reinvent my brain a little bit. But yeah, I feel like it ran its course, and it was really fun and amazing, and I had so many awesome experiences, and I learned a lot that I'm able to carry with me in the future. But I think the fact that the whole world shut down, and if we stayed together, now in hindsight looking back, it's like if we did stay together, that was going to be, I was just watching all these bands and artists put out so much effort, spend so much money for such little back, because it's like you can spend as much money as you want, but everyone's poor. Everyone's afraid to go be in crowds right now and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it was honestly the way that it all unfolded was like the best thing that could have happened for me, because it catapulted me up here.
With all that stuff, like you're saying, going from a stadium to coming down and doing, maybe not coming down, I think like to me they're all this, it's kind of all the same shit. Like you play guitar in front of 20,000 people is a different experience, maybe physically on stage, fallback wise, maybe you got in-ear monitors, understanding that when you talk, you have to talk slower and simpler and all those kind of more technical things. So when you come back down and you're reinventing yourself as Erin, I know you, what are the challenges that presented itself with that? Because I imagine when you're so young, you go into this situation, you're like a front person, you're not, I'm assuming you weren't playing a lot of guitar, you weren't doing a lot of any covers, probably maybe like choice covers and doing your material with the band. And then you get to this position where you come up here, you're learning kind of like the tools of the trade of things that are taken care of in those situations, like mixing desks and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's a whole thing, because on tour you kind of have, everyone's got a bit of a job, right? And I've gone to this job where I'm the sound guy, I'm the content creator, I'm the musician, I choose everything, it's a lot. But I almost feel like it's a bit of a Hannah Montana thing. I love that I can have this experience and go and dip into this world and do that. And then also come settle in, and I'm playing to these people at the pub, and they, whatever their opinions are, I'm sitting there going, you have no idea. I just went and fucking,
like,
I have no idea what I just did last week.
It's literally a Hannah Montana moment.
Yeah, I love it. It's really fun, but I just feel grateful and present with both of those experiences. It creates that balance, and it's insane. I'm not a woman of very well based balance. It's like I've got two massive ends of the scale.
Yeah.
Like I'm either playing on these islands really pretty music to the people in a restaurant, or I'm fucking ripping it on a stage in front of 20,000 people. Like that's pretty,
There's no in between.
Sure, man.
Just there's no, because there literally is an in between I've seen you do.
But the in between is going to be when I finally release my solo original music.
Exactly.
And, start building that stuff up again. But I'm feeling really comfy where I am, and having this, what do you call it? The dynamic between them both. And there's not necessarily content. They just feel like totally different jobs.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting to me. So they feel like different jobs in what way?
I definitely bring a different energy to both. When I first showed up in town, people had seen me on video do the Simple Plan stuff. And then I got up on stage, and like I said, I just got my feet together. I'm just like, yeah. And people were saying, where's the Erin that we see on film? Where's all that energy? Where's all that stage presence?
Yeah, but that's...
I was like, man,
that's not unfair though, because that is such a different situation. It feels inappropriate to do the same. You can't stage dive off Magnum stage when no one, like there's not a crowd there, or... I'm
not very good at, and it's something I want to get better at, is putting it on. Like, I don't feel so good. Just put it on anyway and just, I'd love to do that. But I'm weirdly too authentic to that, too committed to the authenticity. And I don't want to, if I give out lots of energy during these cover gigs and I actually don't feel like it, and then I actually catch a wave and everyone's like, yeah, I'm like, fuck, I've got to ride this up.
I feel that.
When I'm running out on that stage out in front of 21,000 people, the energy comes to me. Number one, these people are paying to be at this show. Number two, they know the song and they're singing along.
Hey,
that's the whole thing too. Having
huge.
People sing my own lyrics back to me is just one of the most insane thing that's ever happened to me in my life. Like it's fucking nuts, man.
I don't know the experience of having that happen at such a high scale. And does it multiply or does it shrink? Like if you have a room of 30 people singing your song to you, like a Lola's, it was packed and everyone's singing with you. Compare that to a 20,000. Is it the same experience, or does it multiply where you're like, oh, this is like very intense?
Again, they feel like different experiences. When you run out on stage in front of so many people, over a certain amount of people, it's like a bunch of heads that I think for me, removing that intimacy is key, because as soon as I'm in an intimate room, I'm like, oh man, I'm so close. Not that I do care about what people think of me, and I think that affects my job a little bit too much, because I'll be up there going like, oh,
I mean, I feel like people are lying.
Out on the stage, I'm like, yeah, I'm up here, motherfuckers, and like...
It's the physical distance is much better. Like it's much more useful to you with that mental shift. You're not worried about things that can happen in a near proximity. Like you're not worried about, this person jumping on stage or this person doing it. There's a lot of factors in there.
I wish that I did dancing lessons or something when I was growing up, because I find that moving my body doesn't come super naturally to me. So that's why I'm just light bulb now, like big stage.
Yeah.
I'm running around, kicks, flips, all that kind of stuff. But if you put me on a tiny stage, I'm like, what do I do with my hands? Like, that up there. Exactly. Like, someone hand me a beer.
That's a good point.
I think people watching these Simple Plan videos or stateside videos or whatever, it's like, you might not actually be looking at me moving a lot. Maybe you're just watching me run back and forth on a big stage. I don't actually know.
Well, there's more retail for you to just be like, I've got high energy. Let's go to this side. Yeah.
You rock up to the pub and then they didn't buy a ticket to see me. They're buying beers.
As you said, it's a different job. Like, there's a lot more love immediately when you go to a room where they've come to buy tickets for you.
Specifically,
and they know all the repertoire. Like, they're not going, oh, can you please? They probably are. There's probably people that are like, yeah, when I go to my original, like, I don't know. Ben Howard's probably like, man, I'm so fucking sick of this one song or whatever. But when you're doing an original gig where they've paid tickets, they've paid a babysitter, they're out on the town for that night. And do you find, I'm curious about the experience of the time, because obviously you put out massive energy in those shows, but these ones are very draining, these 3-hour kind of gigs that we're doing now. Do you find, I was wondering if it's like, because energy is given back to you, the 2-hour show, which is bigger and massive, doesn't necessarily take away your energy. Maybe you're like tired at the end, but it's like a good tired, not a like exhausted tired. So, yeah, what is your perspective on?
I actually feel like I want to think about that.
You can, come back to it.
Yeah, come back to that.
Come back to it. So,
that's a good question.
Because it's always hard to find people who have had that experience, had this experience of what we do. And, you know, I'm sitting in between where I've been on big stages, but not in the way that people are coming to watch me. I'm always in the band of a big stage, or, you know, in a show band, or we're in a theater, or those kind of bigger gigs. But never to the place that you're talking about, where it's like, so it's just a curiosity.
Even in the biggest shows that I've ever played weren't my band either. It was like the Simple Plan shows were definitely more than 20,000 people, but my band probably never even we sold out our own like EP release show that was maybe like 250 cap.
I mean, that's still like, but even just going.
But the tours that we were on were like probably around 2,000 cap more ish.
That's still massive.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like that's so cool.
Yeah.
But it's about 2,000 where I start going, it's not so intimate anymore. Any less than that, and I'm a bit like, everyone can basically touch me right now.
Yeah. Interesting.
Break away. Yeah. I spread my wings.
Nice. So that was a false start. So we're on take 4. False start 3. Take away, break away. Take away, break away. 4. Kind of 3, but 4. But it's 4.
Da 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 da. Grew up in a small town. When the rain would fall down, I just stare out my window, dreaming of what could be. And if I ended up happy, I would pray, trying not to reach out. But when I tried to speak out, felt like no one could hear me. Wanted to belong here, but something felt so wrong here. So I pray could break away. I'll spread my wings and I'll learn how to fly. I'll do what it takes till I touch the sky. I'll make a wish, take a chance, make a change, and break away. Out of the darkness and into the sun, I won't forget all the ones that I love. I'll take a risk, take a chance, make a change, and break away. Da 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 da. Wanna feel the warm breeze, sleep under a palm tree, feel the rush of the ocean. Get on board a fast train, travel on a jet plane far away, and break away. I'll spread my wings and I'll learn how to fly. I'll do what it takes till I touch the sky. I'll make a wish, take a chance, make a change, and break away. Out of the darkness and into the sun, I won't forget all the ones that I love. I'll take a risk, take a chance, make a change, and break away. Buildings with 100 floors, swing around folding doors. Maybe I don't know where it's not easy to tell you goodbye. Gotta take a risk, take a chance, and make a change, and break away out of the darkness and into the sun. I won't forget all the place I come from. I gotta take a risk, take a chance, make a change, and break away, break away, and break away.
That was pretty good.
Almost. That was like almost. That was 90%.
I would say
perfect.
that like if the rest are awful, that one's
Yeah,
that one's
agree.
good. I wanted to ask because I remember you talking about your experience like from Magnums, and you were talking about Ivan like coming up to you, the manager thing. Can you tell me that story again? Because I thought it was such a nice little capture of the experience that you can have going from different places. And
100%. Well, I showed up here, like I said, in 2020, and when I first got here, I wasn't using a loop pedal. I wasn't using a stomp. My tempo was kind of all over the place. Voice was good.
yeah,
So obviously people have gone, there's something here. We just needed to fucking give us some more. I went to Magnums and the managers walked up to me and gone, Erin, can I talk to you? Okay. So we sit down and he said, hey, I really want to keep booking you, but I need you to give me more. I really need you to give me more. Because it's just maybe just a bit slow, a bit not it's, we want to get people drinking and into it,
Yeah.
which was a new thing for me. And I was really grateful that he did that because number one, he highlighted that he wants to keep
yeah,
booking me. That gave me confidence in itself. Number two, like telling me to get better, basically. And I needed that push, and I'm really glad that he spoke to me about that. That was really good. And he did continue to book me, and I continued to get better. I brought in the loop pedal, brought in the stomp pedal, and it's just, it's being able to elevate what I'm doing.
I really love down gigs. Like my favorite gigs are usually background gigs where I'm ignored because I don't really enjoy giving the energy that people want, and I'd rather be in a band if we're going to be in a situation where we have to give energy.
I resonate with that really hard.
I like a schwanky cocktail bar where I'm playing like cool, like I'll loop and stuff, but it'll kind of be this backbeaty fun thing for me. But when people fall short, I think, is when they're asked to play something upbeat is the classic thing that you hear. Play faster, play something we know. But the upbeat thing is the thing that I think people will fall down on. They're like, no, that's not me. That's not what I want to do. Like, but to me, it's always, how do you recalibrate that information into something that is will actually help you and get you continue to be booked in harder places to get booked, or where you do have to have that energy. And I think that you've done a good job of going, okay, well, I'm taking that information and not going, well, nah, that's not for me. You've gone, okay, well, yeah, like, I need to, add a stomp. Or I know your repertoire is probably already good, but some people often will have like more.
I definitely had to bring more in.
Did you have to learn, like, did you go about learning a lot more? What covers did you end up kind of gravitating towards to
I
make
think
that
I just
change?
had a big list full of songs that were easy that I liked, but then I learned more about, we need to have a certain list of sing-alongs that we can do to get people into it and stuff like that. So I tried to figure out more songs like that at the same time as trying my hardest not to do the exact same songs as everyone else here, because everyone's got a few of their staples, and I feel like we all kind of, I don't know if everyone does it, but I did hear another friend say like, oh, I was going to learn this song, but I avoid it because this other person, it's like one of their main ones. And so I went a bit, it was really hard for me to try and learn some stuff. And it's just a whole other world, hey. So I've been learning a lot. And then on top of that, it's like you got to find your songs, figure out how to play them. Yeah. And then there's also reading the crowd. Reading the vibe is a whole different thing, a whole thing in a bag of chips, like
thing in a bag of chips.
And even down to, there's a certain venue in town that I play that I find that when I go for a break, people just get up and leave.
Yeah.
So I end up looking around the room going, okay, what table has just bought drinks? And then if they've just bought fresh drinks, I feel like I can dip to the toilet without them leaving. Whereas if
That's
that big
interesting.
table, if their drinks are empty and I go for a break, they're going to go, oh, I'll pop off for another vibe. And then I look like I'm not doing a good job.
I've actually never thought about that specific situation of watching someone's drinks, because I've always gotten the vibe. I'm like, oh, these guys are going to leave. But the drink thing is smart.
Yeah, if they've got a fresh round, you're safe for at least another 5.
Yeah, I have time to pee.
Yeah, well, that's it. I'm like, I have to be.
Because,
I'm going for a break. And then the manager's like, no break. I'm like,
yeah, I'm going for a break. Well,
I'm going.
it's
I
such
need to
a
pee.
contentious issue, is it? Like, no one really understands it. 15 minutes is good. You can't sing straight for 3 hours. Vocally, you do really need a 15-minute break. How venues handle that break is maybe the problem. I think is like they should be handling it better. Whether it's like, I would like to always be able to turn on the music myself after break, so there's no dead silence. Little things like that we notice.
yep.
You've done such a good job of hanging in there with that feedback, and then basically taking it and running with it. Because you're like one of the people that I would immediately get to cover me, and I wouldn't batter
Thank you.
an eyelid. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's been tough for me. I showed up, and I'm in a not only male-dominated industry, but this town is very male-dominated.
Totally, yeah.
With musicians. So not only was I trying to learn how to do this job and taking constructive feedback and all that kind of stuff, but also I didn't really have anyone to directly compare myself to,
Yeah.
or directly take advice from. And I did find that some of the questions that I asked some of the guys, I got a completely different answer than what I was looking for, because there's different things that women take into account.
Can you
certain
tell me
things.
some? Like, just out of curiosity, if you can, I'm putting you on the spot. But
Yeah,
like,
no,
is there something-
I think the biggest example of this, I remember I was asking people about what they do for warm-ups and stuff like that. And you'd be surprised how many people said that they warm up in their first set. And
Yeah,
that to me felt like a male privilege.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've been at Magnums when my male friend has walked up and stood up, and I feel like everyone in the room goes, oh, hell yeah, like we're in for live music, cool.
Yeah.
I walk in, and then people go, we'll give her a song or two and figure out if we want to be here or go somewhere else. I feel like there's an automatic, when you see a dude setting up with music, there's an automatic like, oh yeah, we're in for a good night.
Yeah, like people like
They see
relax
a girl,
or whatever.
oh, she might be alright. So I'll be on my break and someone will walk up to me and be like, oh, you're actually really good.
Oh, that's
You're
the
actually really
worst.
good. I was like,
That's
thanks, man. It's because you didn't think I was going to be good to start with.
it's such
but-
it's such an extra hurdle to jump, right?
But that's it. And so, like, my immediate impression, and this feeds into how I dress, how I present myself, how confident I feel, how much eye contact I can give people. And, like, if I've woken up feeling a bit anxious already and I'm like, oh, a bit afraid to be perceived, I walk into a venue and, like, these anxieties haven't come from nowhere. It's actually come from experiencing so many years of this that I'm like, man, there's so much to think about. But there's going to be an end point where I go, none of it matters. Just be myself and bring my best self to the table, or bring my not best self to the table. Who cares?
Take 5, 6. Take 6. I'm losing track. Every time we touch. The interruption just messes me too much.
I still hear your voice when you sleep next to me. I still feel your touch in my dreams. Forgive me my weakness, but I don't know why. Without you, it's hard by my side. Your arms are my castle, your heart is my sky. They wipe away tears that I cry. The good and the bad times we've been through them all. You make me rise when I fall. 'Cause every time we touch, I get this feeling, and every time we kiss, I swear I can fly. Can't you feel my heart beat fast? I want this to last. I need you by my side. 'Cause every time we touch, I feel the static, and every time we kiss, I reach for the sky. Can't you feel my heart beat so I can't let you go? I want you in my life. Every time we touch, I get this feeling, and every time we kiss, I reach for the sky. Can you feel my heart beat fast? I want this to last. I need you by my side. Every time we touch, I feel the static, and every time we kiss, I reach for the sky. Can't you feel my heart beat so I can't let you go? I want you in my life.
I think that was pretty
I
good.
fucked up a few of the words again, but like they're all there's something wrong with all of them, and so I'm happy for you. to just
That's the
fix the
beauty.
words.
It's the old Japanese proverb, the cracks, and then you fill them with gold.
Oh, I like that.
This is just a little interruption to say thank you to the Flying Arts Alliance, who in the early days, in Bat Episode 3, helped us bridge the gap with our emergency fund grant. And it was super helpful. Let me then become a bit more self-sufficient, able to get the things that we needed to make it smoother, so I wasn't always relying on, in our regional area, we had a lot of trouble with getting videographers and certain gear things that were a problem, so I needed to help alleviate that situation, and they helped immensely. I don't know if I would still be doing this if they didn't give us that emergency grant, so this is a little spot to say thank you. And if you want to contribute as well and help us grow, tinyvinylcollective.com. Thanks, and we're going to get back to Erin, and I hope you're enjoying the tracks. If you are enjoying these tracks, you can find them on Spotify, Apple Music, all the places that you listen to music, and you can also purchase them directly. Thank you. That thing that you're talking about where it's like you're actually good is a massive thing that it's not the first time I've heard like women in our industry talk about that. Even Emily Remler, who's a famous jazz guitarist, I remember her talking in an interview about that. She's basically was paraphrasing that exact same thing. And it was, they're listening harder because I'm a girl and they're listening closer to see if I can't play, as opposed to listening and assuming that they can play because they're a dude.
Yeah, so that's why I try to either pick a really safe song to start with so that I know that my vocals can nail it, or trying to pick a song that I can pull people in. But yeah, I find that I don't get the same amount of grace as other people, and it's as males in the industry.
Yeah,
and like I don't feel as though I'm emphasizing it. If anything, I'm probably downplaying it a bit. But yeah, it is coming to. Interesting thing is, so one of our beautiful tip-based venues. Yeah, I've figured out over the past 6 years that if I rock up I love doing my makeup and my hair and put on a cute outfit, my big boots. Like, if I dress up, the more I dress up, the less people want to get involved and the less I get tipped. If I rock up in jeans and a flannel, hair up, no makeup, everyone wants to give me their money.
Do you feel there's more, let's give her a hand kind of situation?
Almost. I think I've thought about this quite a bit. Number one, if I'm all dressed up and say a family is out for dinner,
Yeah.
and then the dad's like, "Oh, I want to go give her 50." The
Yeah,
wife's
the mom's like,
"Sorry, why?
yeah.
Why? Why do you want to do that?" You know? So like, no one.
Yeah.
And maybe they look at me and go, "Oh, she thinks she's the shit." I don't know. People are just judgmental. It's fine. It's fine. Just have
Yeah.
your beer. But like, yeah, when I show up in jeans and a t-shirt, people go, "Oh, she doesn't know how good she is," or like, "Oh, she's
Yeah.
like, come on, honey, go give her the money." I don't know. There's something about
It's funny because it's
people
yeah.
don't love women that love themselves.
If there is that situation where a husband is like, "Oh, I want to go give this," they're not saying good musician a tip, like the threatening nature
Yeah,
of being a
there's
woman,
all of a sudden,
which
when
is strange. It's not right. It's like
Exactly.
it's also it's upsetting because it shouldn't be like that.
no, I shouldn't.
And it
But
should just be
but
like if
that's-
there's a guy and a girl, basically they should have the same. Because whenever I think of dressing up, I think, oh, I look more professional. I don't ever think, oh, I have to worry about not getting extra tips. Like I think I'll get maybe not more tips, but I don't have any of that thought.
because of experiencing this stuff and figuring this stuff out, I almost wish I was more ignorant. I wish I could go back 6 years and not know any of this, because I am finding myself almost making myself smaller so that people can't look at me and go, "Oh, she thinks she's fucking all that."
yeah.
But people want more from me, but when I give them more, they judge me and can be insulting.
So it's like you can't win either way.
I can't win. So I may as well just do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
But it's a matter of getting there. I think I need to leave town. Well, that's the plan. Is like I need to get out of here, get my brain out of here, because when you're performing to people that you know, like when 20% of the
yeah.
venue every time knows me, I feel like I can't just rock up one day and be like, "All right, everybody, fucking no." They'll be like, "Is she having a manic episode?"
That's actually, I've never thought about it in that
Like one day they see
perspective.
me and I'm like chill, and then the next day I'm like, "All right, guys, I'm unleashing the beast," like, and everyone's
Yeah.
like, "Is she fucking okay?"
It's the catch-22 of living in a small town. I've noticed that, I noticed that the musicians, we move as a kind of a unit together. And if we're not all on board, then nothing happens. But I found in bigger cities, you could just change who you are, not change who you
Day
are.
by day.
Just do whatever you want. Like if I go to a new venue, I've got 20 other venues. If they don't like me, I'm fine.
Yep.
But if you piss off people here, then you have the repercussions happen.
Yep.
And so I found it equally a blessing and a curse, this kind of small townness, and it's my first experience of it. So
Me too.
that high energy you're saying, where I can go to a new place, you could give it all you got, and you've got different stages, like you haven't played them a million times, or you're in a bigger city, no one knows you in the pub, that's your first impression or their first impression. And so I've definitely taken different approaches in different areas. Like I was saying on Ferg's podcast that I talk less here because I don't find people engaging as much as they do. On cruise ship, I was the chattiest person on the mic in the world. And in London, in smaller bars, when low roofs, everyone's like actually around, they're kind of into it a bit more. And then, corporate ones in London, no talking again or no engagement. So it is, it's interesting, but I've never thought about what you just said, which is because everyone knows me, if I tried to, try on a new jacket or try on a new persona or try something new, that would be perceived as, is she okay? What's going on? This isn't the Erin we know. And it's, but the Erin that they know is also maybe not the Erin that is you.
Yeah.
Truly.
Oh my God.
in the deeper
So
side.
truth.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, so you're right though. In the city, you can basically reinvent yourself every day and try on different stuff, and you don't know anyone. You rock up to a pub and you may have played that venue before and know the manager.
that's
about it.
my experience. Is like I know the people. The turnover is usually pretty high. Like maybe they're a friendly pub that keep their people around, but yeah, turnover is very high. But I know that you have to go soon.
Oh, what time is it?
It's like 3:26. Thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate you coming on. It's been fun to hang out and play with you, and I hope that you are happy with the tracks because I think that they sound great. So
I think it's going to be great. Thank you so much for having me. This has been such an amazing experience, and I just love what you're doing, not just for yourself and for the community and for music, but I love this whole talking part of it too, where you can, I don't really post much of me talking on the internet. So it's nice that people can hear a conversation
Yeah, a long form conversation.
Here's an opinion that I have. It's like not just like yeah.
Well, it's always driven me insane that I don't feel like a lot of hosts don't really know what it's like to be deep in the place that we're in, like the nuance that exists between the different things. They're very PR based. Oh, you like songs? I like music. Oh, do you like being a girl? I don't know. It drives me fucking insane. So I've always loved.
For a girl.
Yeah, pretty good for a girl. Actually,
You're actually
you're actually a slave for a girl. The talking actually came after the idea of playing. So it wasn't ever meant to be a podcast because I thought that was kind of done in my head. I'd actually gone to start them before, but I wanted to do sessions like this. And then I was like, well, we're already in the space and let's have a good conversation. So it's funny, there's an accident, but it's also something that I've thought about. But thank you, I appreciate that. And you're very kind. Nick. Okay, I'll go do your gig at Sorrento's. Go. That is it. That's the end of the session. Thank you so much for hanging out. And thank you to Aaron for jumping on and just being a legend. It took us a while to actually get the session lined up, but I was so glad that we managed to do it. Thank you to the Lolas for having us. And of course, thank you to you. If you're listening to this last little bit, you're awesome. And I really appreciate you. Hopefully I'll see you soon.